Because if you look at YouTube, I think the line between YouTubers and sociopath is really interesting. If you look at YouTube, it sort of rewards sociopathic behavior. And I think that's why it's so easy for me, for example, to spot it in other YouTubers. While for a lot of other people who are not aware of it, it will just go unnoticed. For example, you understand as a YouTuber what kind of thought process went through a person's mind or a YouTuber's mind when they made a thumbnail, what they want to present in it, what was important for them for other people to know, or how they present a message and a topic, how they present it, in what tone, and like they said, with the music or whatever. Most people don't think about these things, but as a YouTuber, you realize and you understand what went through their head to make these decisions, and you realize, wow, they're actually kind of messed up. And YouTube in a way rewards these things. You don't get more views for having integrity, that's for sure. And I think that's the thing with Jake and Logan. They just don't care. They're just extremely goal-oriented and motivated to become popular on YouTube and earn money. That's what they want. They're not trying to hide that. It's pretty obvious. They'll do whatever they can to get that. Does that mean they're sociopath? I don't know, maybe, but it certainly 100% makes them scumbags. Maybe they have some other personality behind the scenes. Maybe they're actually a really cool in person, maybe really chill.
This is a bit awkward because I really like Idubbbz. I don't know if I'm allowed to call him a friend because we don't really talk, but I respect him a lot. He's a good dude. I work with him.
Maybe they're actually really cool in person, maybe really chill. But then again, we've seen their action online. Does it really matter? You wouldn't go to a killer and be like, well, maybe he's actually like a really nice person.
Hey everyone, so today's video is going to be all about the stark difference between self-awareness and lampshading, because everyone seems to be mixing up the two. And even though everyone's taking their dig at the low-hanging fruit of the edgiest guy on YouTube, it's time that someone on this platform finally addresses all of the criticisms that people have on Idubbbz and the career that he's chosen on this platform. I'm about to go after everybody in this situation for a fair amount of time, which I don't do often, mainly because normally everyone is covering the other side of the argument already, but this is a situation where there's so much bullshit on all sides that I gotta spread my attention all over the place. So for the first time, I'm going to really try to organize all of this shit, but I can only do so much, so let's get into it. So for starters, one of the many things that Idubbbz has been called throughout this whole thing is insecure. And yes, he is an insecure man. This edgy persona that he gives himself is just that, a character.
It's incredible how much more intelligent you would have looked if during the event where I came and said, "Say nigger," you just said, "Wow, you're a very uncomfortable person, and you're not very funny. What a pathetic joke." You would have just destroyed me.
Sometimes you can get a glimpse of the real him, and he's even brought attention to it himself.
Today I'm wearing my cool guy jacket. This is the jacket I wear when I want to look a little less emaciated. So leave it in the comments below if you think I look cool and less emaciated. Alright guys.
What's up guys? Today we're here with
Idubbbz TV.
Can't do it. You can go for it.
No, you do it.
Hi, I'm Dave from Boy in a Band, and this is my friend Ian.
Yeah. I shouldn't have said yeah, I don't have anything to say. Wow, you're a very uncomfortable person, and you're not very funny.
But people didn't really buy this video. People didn't really buy his argument. But he's also sticking out for his girlfriend, and this whole thing comes across as a tad bit defensive. And I think that's why a lot of people are pointing out he seems like the crying, happy-faced Vorshak meme or whatever it's called.
Idubbbz, you aren't a simp because your girlfriend wants to sell herself online. You're a simp because you clearly aren't okay with it, and even if you somehow are now, you weren't in the recent past. Like, are you seriously about to pretend that you haven't made that abundantly clear by now?
I thought I was done. But apparently 2 tweets wasn't enough for this girl. You were supposed to come and hang out with me and Celestia after you begged Celestia. I have the Skype screenshots. She pulled you a favor. You back out because Idubbbz tells you it's a bad idea to associate with me. How about we talk about why your boyfriend won't promote anything about you? Is he trying to keep your ass a secret? Why is he one of the biggest fucking YouTubers and he can't help your ass out? I think you picked the wrong side. You should have come and hung out and facilitated making friends, but instead you decided to be a snake, hop on his fucking dick for more whatever you think perceived celebrity, and failed.
Even if you do make a legitimate critique, they just deflect anyway.
You chose to use your identity, which people want to see. You have a finger on the pulse of the community.
I love how she's pausing between every few words, like she's making this up as she goes along.
I love how I just acted like I answered the question when I just instead said she's making it up without explaining how.
The minute you start saying there's a difference between you trying to cash in on my image, my tits, which are proudly displayed in your thumbnail, there's a difference because I'm doing it. Suddenly, when you take my content, it's allowed.
Again, Zoe, your argument really doesn't make that much sense. So what you've essentially said is, you can show your tits, and it's okay because you're self-aware, but if I take them and put them in a thumbnail of me criticizing you, that's not allowed because I'm making money off it.
No, that's not what she said. She said that you're criticizing her for showing her tits for monetary compensation, but you're showing her tits for the same thing. That's what she said, you fucking dumbass.
In an effort for you to stop negative comments about yourself, you said something that you knew they were already going to say.
Fucking hell, guys, she's already discovered what self-deprecation is. She's evolving at a much quicker pace than I expected. Quick, get the net!
No, she's pointing out the fact that you're an insecure piece of shit, and you keep pretending like you're not, but you want to criticize everyone else. Fucking idiot. You've always used the term slut and whore in a derogatory way.
You think these fucking retards would actually do a smidgen of research? Because, like, I did it, and I found the potential hypocrisies. Funding for the slut shirt is actually very, very low. Skanktown, USA, softcore porn all over the wall. You know, like, I'm not saying that women should be sexualized or shouldn't be. I'm just saying that there is the market for it, so it makes sense that they would do it. But never was that part of my argument. It's just flavor.
Also, good job leaving out this clip.
You're a whore. You're a whore, just admit it. You're a whore, you whore yourself out online, you whore yourself out in front of your family and your friends. You're a whore, plain and simple. Just admit that you're a whore and a slut. And a harlot.
I don't know why everyone thinks that, like, I made a stand.
But when he gets caught on it, he acts like it's not his responsibility, and he blames them instead. You've always used the term slut and whore in a derogatory way, so you obviously have attracted a fan base of people who agree with that bullshit.
Instead of ignoring that and just moving on with my lecture, it might be a better idea to point those people out and say, yeah, I actually don't agree with that shitty opinion, because it seems like me just ignoring it has led to like a cultivation of a bunch of retards.
And now that you're on the other side of it, they're turning on you because you're betraying one of the very things that made them relate to you in the first place. And you know it.
But there's a whole nother group of people who feel personally devastated and betrayed. You lied to us. First of all, I'm not your fucking dad. Like, if you don't want to look up to me anymore, that's fine. I don't want you to look up to me.
Why the fuck else do you think he said that? He knows why they're mad. And they have every right to be. However, that's a separate topic from if women should sell themselves online. Because nobody gives a fuck when men do it, not to this extreme for sure. People rarely ever fucking talk about it because for years, men have been praised for fucking around and we all know it. You all got here from sex. Grow the fuck up. The fact that sex is so stigmatized is the biggest load of bullshit in human history. If you can't understand that by now, you can't be helped. Moving on. I'm only going to show a few of these because this video is going to be long as fuck when it's done. The people who are defending Idubbbz keep overgeneralizing everything. Take PewDiePie for example.
This is a bit awkward because I really like Idubbbz. I don't know if I'm allowed to call him a friend because we don't really talk. But I respect him a lot. He's a good dude. I work with him.
I'm gonna suck on his ass now. Let me tell you how he's this amazing guy. Even though I don't know him, I'm really starting to make a lot of sense the more I talk. I should continue.
Idubbbz and Simp. Those two things do not match.
You're in denial.
And after this silence, Idubbbz has finally uploaded a response video shutting down his fans.
No, he didn't. When the fuck did he ever shut anyone down?
For those of you who are unaware of the drama I recently brought upon myself, I'll fill you in.
To be fair, it was his girlfriend that brought upon the drama.
No, she didn't. You're not being fair. You're being biased as fuck and ignoring what everyone is saying.
It's like everyone that reacts to this is basically like, well, I wouldn't like if my girlfriend did that. I would not be okay with that, him doing that. But if he wants to do it, then I guess it's fine.
He is a hypocrite for several reasons. And rather than listen to this moron any further, I'll just get into what actually matters. So this guy is all over the place with his critique.
So much more than that, Ian. Like, this is a really shocking lack of, I don't know, awareness for somebody that has put together some of the most detailed videos with content cops, going over every little aspect of a content creator's life. A man that clearly understands fandoms. To lump it all in like that, to me, feels like he's just...
What do you think he's going to say? You think he's going to conclude, Idubbbz is being a hypocrite, he's full of shit, he's being manipulative, he's going to lash out instead of addressing the issue? What do you think he's going to say? Anything that's remotely critical the way that Idubbbz has been his entire life? Let's see.
He's mad. He's mad. He's sick of taking crap, and he wanted to come out and say, look, I don't care. And that's really the only play he had.
No, it's not that he's mad, it's that he's a hypocrite. That's what you should have concluded, but you decided not to do it because of people's fear of having to admit that they were wrong about their judgment of another person. This is exactly what a neutrality bias does to people.
He was just getting lambasted for weeks, and now he's just got to address it.
He's been lambasted. Poor Idubbbz.
I don't know what kind of position, how that would feel.
I love how everyone keeps trying to sympathize with him while they say, I'm not making up excuses for him.
I'm not going to defend him.
When he's the one who's been fucking with people for his entire career.
It's more complex than that.
This guy says at one point,
by saying like, oh, you just don't like that my girlfriend sells pictures of her meow meow and I don't care. It's so much more than that, Ian.
But then in the next second he says,
people don't like his girlfriend. That's really at the end of this. People love Ian and they don't like his girlfriend.
That's not what this issue is about. Maybe you don't do your research because, as you said,
not my problem, not my concern. I'm doing this video for the memes.
But people don't like him and his girlfriend now because his girlfriend represents the embodiment of most of the things he has criticized everyone for. He's a millionaire from criticizing people for things that they're doing wrong, and yet he's willing to date that very fucking thing. He has canceled people over the things that his girlfriend does. There have been long and detailed exposure videos explaining this. Almost everything he criticized Leafy for, Anissa has done herself. And they even had a mutual respect for one another. So the people who don't like him anymore are all having a moment of realization where he's always taken this lampshaded, moral, edgy high ground as if he hated these aspects of people's character, but then he turns around and dates the complete compilation of all of their traits. She's lazy, wants to get rich quick, pretends to care about people when she actually doesn't, takes the moral high ground when it benefits her, gaslights people who call her out, makes up excuses for horrible people, wants to whore herself out as a gamer girl, lied and said she never did, or it was in protest to gamer girls, but now she's a full-blown professional whore. Mocks people with diseases. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on for her bullshit. They hate her as well as him because she proves that he's a hypocrite. She proves that he's full of shit. And luckily, because of her big mouth and inability to cover up her tracks as well as he does, she has given YouTubers a wide and open lane to expose him. So if you continue to give him this free pass by saying, they just don't like his girlfriend, then there is something seriously wrong with you and you need to work on that. You think they're being honest, but they're not. You think they're being truth tellers, but they're not. And that's why we've got all of this cancel culture and these exposure videos going around these days, because everyone's hypocrisy and moral bankruptcy is coming full circle, and the commentary community is starting to eat itself. Rightfully so. So here's where I'm going to spread out some of my attention. For anyone who's never heard of an edgelord, they're all over the website. Anywhere that you look, you'll find them. Typically, they're in the commentary community because that's what they do best. We're just going to do a big old compilation to give you a good sense of what they are.
You know what I do find a bit off-putting though is recycling the same content and making it as your own. Like creators do the same content as somebody else and then they're packaging it as if they don't like Belle. But really, they're just doing it for the views. It just comes up a bit insincere in my opinion.
I lie down on this kitchen surface, right, and you just pour 27 egg yolks on top of us? Like, where does that idea come from?
They're just a basic reaction out of anything you would expect from seeing a young woman pour eggs all over herself.
To be more detailed about it, they just say what they're looking at.
But you know what else could be seen as cringy? A YouTuber making a video just over 10 minutes long so you can make sure you squish in all those ads and calling it, I spent $2,500 on Belle Delphine's Patreon, ... Rehash everyone else's jokes for the first 10 minutes and then in that last minute, of course, show yourself paying for the $2,500 on her Patreon and then lead into another video. And also, I don't really like making content that's been done 10 other times.
On the Belle Delphine Instagram page, my favorite place to go every day.
Oh, come on. I'm Alex. You too? For the majority of his video, he's just reading the comments on our Instagram. Imagine I did a video called We Need to Stop, I'm Alex, and most of the video was just me reading Alex's Instagram comments. But speaking of trends, isn't it a little bit weird to have video titles so similar to each other? Another YouTuber called Darth Vader posted his video on Belle Delphine over 2 months ago, and his was called Belle Delphine Needs to Be Stopped. All these titles are so similar, but he was the first, if we're gonna give him some credit. The entire format of their videos are nearly identical. They might react to some of her pictures.
How does this become this?
Just look at some of the proof you need. Is that a dog toy? That is a dog toy.
There she is doing her face again.
She looks like she lives in a fantasy world where you can dress whatever the f you want to be.
And they'll react to some of her videos.
Together we're atomic, leave you never. Hold up. Wait a minute.
She looks really cool.
Belle Delphine donating her hair to the homeless.
Just a video of me eating cereal. You're not eating the cereal.
That's a pretty wholesome video, really. Got a big fluffy pink bear, nothing too overtly sexual. I appreciate it, Belle. We've still got ads on this.
And of course, make fun of the commenters.
How deep is your palm? How far does it go?
And then we've got Evan, who's commented, lucky ass rabbits. Let's see. He's 12. I mean, I could have guessed. He's literally 12.
I am a writer of sad books, virgin.
And then below, come arrest me, Belle. Cringe.
Since everyone else has made a video on it, I just thought I'd jump on the trend, to be honest, and get that easy YouTube revenue.
Absolutely nothing new about this guy's video, and he actually admits there's like a part of his video where he just straight up says that he's stretching it to 10 minutes so he can put more ads.
Lazy.
You know, you'd think that commenting on videos would be an activity where you could just be a normal human being and talk like a normal human being, be yourself, show a range of emotions, unique thoughts, but no, it seems like everyone in this community resorts to being a bland one-dimensional personality. They have a lot more in common with the positive channels than they think. I'm going to tell you right now that it's not just Idubbbz, obviously. He's a part of the commentary community, he's an edgelord. This stuff is all over the place. And if you want to get some sort of idea of how to tell how fake these people are and how they're full of shit, here's some simple facts for you. Anyone who titles a chunk of their video saying, "This person needs to be stopped," probably believes in censoring opinions that they don't agree with. Anyone who punches down on themselves is fooling you into thinking that they're self-aware. Anyone who cultivates a toxic fan base is toxic themselves. Anyone who is an edgelord is morally bankrupt. Anyone who delivers every video in a sarcastic tone and never shows any real emotion as if they're some sort of apathetic, edgy robot narrator is in fact an apathetic asshole. Or else they wouldn't be so proud of that portrayal of themselves in the first place. And speaking of, anyone who says that they're a piece of shit is morally bankrupt. Anyone who brags about being an asshole is morally bankrupt. They're hypocrites. They're pieces of shit. They're just as bad as the people that they criticize. And I know what you're about to say. Well, yeah, maybe anyone except for whoever the fuck you still believe in. But no, they're toxic too. And they're all morally bankrupt. They're all in the same pirate boat as Idubbbz, just wearing different costumes. Not everyone is at the same level of toxic as Idubbbz, but when it comes down to it, the boat is still a boat full of pirates. You have to remember that they're not self-aware, they're lampshading. So when you watch these videos that call him out, when they use this hypocritical language, they're also shitheads and assholes, because if you genuinely recognize you're an asshole, then rectify it. It's that fucking simple. You know the problem, so start working on it. You only get sympathy as long as you aren't aware of it. And even then, you still deserve to be criticized. The second you make it clear that you are aware of your flaws, your time is up. And if you do nothing about it, it says a lot about who you really are. They all deserve to be exposed in one way or another. And that's why I don't care for any of these people despite any good points that they make. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. And because they're right sometimes, that's exactly how they get these free passes. Because they defend someone or say something moral here or there that people subscribe to. They relate to them, so they start to believe in them. Some of these edgelords base their content on false neutrality, throwing bones at both sides of an issue, fooling both sides into believing that they are fair and balanced, and again relate to them in some sort of way or another, making you believe in them, when their real agenda is typically dog whistling their true beliefs in order to enable their dark impulses. But if you listen closely, you can usually figure out what they actually believe in. And that's why most people don't promote speculation, because then they'll be found out if you do speculate their true intentions. Because they're all fake, they're all full of shit, they're all lying to you, they don't give a shit about you. At the very least, most of them don't, and everyone's okay with it because people are so afraid to be wrong. They're so afraid of negativity and drama. They desperately want to enable the dark impulses that they share with these YouTubers to the point where they refuse to admit that they made a bad judgment on someone, or that someone, as well as probably themselves, are being a hypocrite. They would rather just look the other way, excuse it away, omit the truth, or give them a free pass than face the reality head on. And that's why you hear all these people saying all the time that being a realist isn't realistic, that objectivity doesn't exist, that morality doesn't exist, because these people don't want to be. And it's simply in order to convince themselves that everyone is just as fucked up as they are so that they never have to change themselves for the better. Instead, they would just rather continue to stay the same and just bring down everybody right along with them. This is the definition of lampshading, but to sum it up, it's basically the idea of you attacking yourself, calling yourself out before someone else can. And people keep mistaking this for self-awareness.
Like, this is a really shocking lack of, I don't know, awareness?
It's not self-awareness. It seems like it, but it's really just making up excuses so that no one can attack you and so that you don't have to change anything.
People didn't really buy his argument, which is kind of a unique thing because throughout the years, Ian has just been consistently putting out great arguments that people can get get by.
People who lampshade do it to avoid criticism. Even the people who call him out are lampshading themselves to avoid criticism. That's why you almost never see them attack him on his edgy approach, because they're all edgelords too. If you're going to call out an edgelord, the first thing you should do is not be one yourself, because now you're all just participating in the edgelord circle jerk contest to see who's the new alpha dog that's going to rise to the top of the food chain or whatever. They're running rampant all over YouTube. Can't get through one day without seeing these people. First, he tells you that you have a right to criticize him for not being funny, but then he says the exact opposite the next sentence later.
You can critique people's use of the word nigger. So yes, you're allowed to be critical of someone's use of the word. If you think it's not funny or you think it's cringy, leave in the comments. When you said the word nigger, my dick retracted inside of my body.
How the fuck do you validate someone's criticism and not get the fuck down at the same time? Like, this is beyond a straw man. I don't even know what to call this level of bullshit. It's like disguised lampshading in the form of a straw man? It's stupid, I can say that much. It's manipulative and stupid, and the fact that people fall for this is so sad. And then here, he admits the fear that he had when walking up to Tana because he's an insecure piece of shit.
You can even critique my going to your show and doing it in that sense. You can say, well, that wasn't even funny, because it really wasn't. I replaced say cheese with say nigger. How funny is that? Not really funny, but what is funny is your reaction to it. It's incredible how much more intelligent you would have looked if during the event where I came and said say nigger, you just said, wow, you're a very uncomfortable person and you're not very funny. What a pathetic joke. You would have just destroyed me, but you couldn't do that.
He doesn't admit this to show that he's self-aware. He admits it to lampshade once again. This way, if anyone does call him out for something similar in the future, he can just refer to this video and falsely accuse them of taking his own advice on how to criticize himself, which would be falsely implying that you needed his help to expose him or some dumb shit. It's very calculated and fucked up. Listen to him. He says here that she's the most predictable person on the planet, again, going for low-hanging fruit, proving that he made a calculated decision to fuck with someone who he knew couldn't take him on.
You would have just destroyed me, but you couldn't do that because you're the most predictable human being on the planet.
Can you imagine how sad it is to be proud of the fact that your entire career is based on going after people who you already know can't argue as well as you? What the fuck? He does this all the time. Another mark of an insecure man is someone who lampshades at the very start of their video or right before criticizing a new topic on their video. So he lampshades once again by bringing up his old videos. It's a form of priming.
We've all made content that we're not very proud of. Maybe it was a cringy Gangnam Style video from back in the day. Possibly a Slenderman video that you look back and say, ooh, that was pretty gay of me. Maybe you combine both of them and you did a cringy Slenderman Gangnam Style video. Maybe you made a bad thumbnail or two. Maybe you didn't make a thumbnail at all and it was just a still frame of your video because you were either retarded or you couldn't be fucked open Photoshop because you had no passion at what you do.
And this is the mark of an insecure man. If you truly didn't give a fuck about people criticizing your old content, you wouldn't bring them up in the first place because they're random unrelated things. If it were me, I wouldn't say anything. I mean, if someone brought it up, it would make sense to address it then. To do it beforehand is the most slimy thing that you can do. Yes, not all preemptive self-critiques are forms of lampshading and manipulation, but most of the time it is. It is especially usually lampshading when you self-criticize your own wrongdoings before someone else can, just so that you can go and criticize someone who's doing the same thing. If it's a physical thing and not a hypocritical thing, the chances of you falsely being accused of lampshading would go down drastically, because who gives a shit if you have embarrassing videos, photos, drawings, music, or whatever. If all you can attack me on is an aesthetic, you have no valid criticism of my content. They're two different subjects. Even if you do hate something that's physical or arbitrary about yourself, you can't change it, so it would be a null and void point to bring it up. Has nothing to do with the topics that you cover and the opinions that you have. The reason why he lampshaded at the beginning of this video, showing that he had no real passion in his older content, is because he wanted to make this criticism later.
You can start to see why he's more successful at watching other people's content than creating his own.
You could say the exact same thing about Idubbbz because his highest viewed videos are his reactions. That is the only reason why right after smacking him down, he pretended to give Jinx a pass on the exact same issue.
So far what we've looked at I think is completely forgivable. I think a lot of this stuff, despite it being bad, that's what age does. You look at people's old videos, it's bad. You know, look at my old videos, they're fucking bad.
Again, how the fuck are you gonna knock him down and absolve him at the same time? It's because he didn't want to be called a hypocrite, not because he's self-aware. He just said all of that, not because he's self-aware, not because he's being honest or fair to Jinx, because he knows that it makes him a hypocrite to criticize Jinx on his content and the motivations for that content since he's been in the exact same situation. Karina, why are you talking about moral bankruptcy? Who cares about morals? Well, if you're morally bankrupt, that means that you're either a hypocrite, a liar, or manipulative. And since everybody decides to expose people for those specific reasons, that's why I use the term. And I'll be using it all throughout this video, so get used to it. He criticized Jinx for eating food at the beginning of his video for a few seconds, but later made a video where he makes food for 3 to 5 times longer.
Look at this smug piece of shit. Just sits on his bed eating a bag of Cheetos as his intro. Hell yeah, dude. Reminds me of that asshole who ate a bowl of cereal for 1 million subs.
Oh my god, look at him. He's messing up his sandwich. He doesn't know how to make it properly, but it's actually ironic because he's doing it on purpose. Great content. It's so funny. Best intro ever. When he exposed Keemstar, he had a bragging moment at the end of the video where he calls himself smart. He really does put himself on a pedestal.
I'm smarter than you?
Even his own mother and sister said he needs a wake-up call. His ego is getting bigger and bigger with every video, and he doesn't know how to own up to his faults. And this is mainly because his community has been non-stop praising and rewarding him for it. You know, enabling it. So instead, in every video where he could possibly be criticized for something, he always resorts to lampshading, deflecting, gaslighting, and in this next case, priming.
You're not gonna ruin my career, you dumb piece of shit, and I've shown you why you're not gonna ruin my career. I'm smarter than you can't think before you speak, and I've never said this unironically, but I think this will be the first time I actually say unironically and mean it. Kill yourself.
So he was priming in that clip. If you don't know what priming means, it's a form of manipulation where you convince your audience of something before they have a chance to react to it themselves. That's the simplest way I can describe it. Read the definition if you want to know more. But the reason why he was doing it here is because that way, even if Keemstar responded, no one would take time to hear him out on any point that he can make. Be it right or wrong, they would just assume anything he says is wrong. Which isn't objective, since objectively, they're both right and wrong at times. This is a subject that pretty much nobody wants to talk about, and when they do, they just give it black and white answers like everything else because for some reason people don't know how to critically think on anything. But I'm gonna try to describe this as best as I can. So is he racist? Well, I can't give a clear answer on that because objectively speaking, I don't know. And I can't say that I do if I honestly don't. And this is because he walks a very thin line between being racist and not being racist. And I say that because on one hand, he doesn't use the N-word in a particularly derogatory way, but at the same time, I've never seen him say anything nice about black people. I've never seen him defend a black person, but I've seen him criticize and imply that a black person was being rude to white people.
You ever been in a black person's household? You'll never, ever hear the beep on the microwave.
Not today, motherfucker.
Too true. Us white people love hearing the beep on their microwave. I mean, I don't know if it's my white skin that makes me love the microwave beep, or if it's my 1/64 Cherokee that loves the microwave beep.
Black people never eat the ass part of the bread.
Black people, they won't eat the heel of the bread. But everyone else, we love it.
So I don't know. If he has made a video defending a black person or talking about black people being mistreated, please send it to me because maybe he uploaded one video. But throughout the majority of his career on YouTube, the only time he talked about black people was when he could mock, criticize, or put them down.
Come to Subway, I'll give you business, man. I eat. Niggas gotta eat. You already know what it is.
And I'm not talking about cojones.
What the fuck is wrong with this woman? I'm not talking about cojones. Oh, being humble. You know, talking about the cars, money, and hoes that you have. That's humble shit. Right. The hip-hop culture is full of a lot of humbleness. P.S. I will conduce research with over 10,000 participates. Nah, I'm not buying that, Quaffine. I think you're more interested in being featured on World Star Hip Hop. Graduate school. You're talking about graduate school and you say insight. Insight. This guy just wants to get a lot of fucking money to pursue his shitty rap career.
People support it, you support it. How the whole world works.
How the whole world works? Did you just try to rap on me? I'm gonna drop some dope-ass bars for you and your dumbass crew. Oh shit, son! My day-to-day insight. I'm sitting here trying to have a civilized conversation, and you just throw a rap lyric at me.
As I would undergo the restraint.
What the fuck fuck is she saying? What the fuck is a strain? I can't, you know, it's probably my fault. I'm bad at listening or something. I guess I'll chalk this one up to being a gay retard. You do the anti-insult and you'll win every time.
Seems like you got it down pat, because you definitely are making some, something. You're doing something with the blood-sucking foolery that you're doing.
The blood-sucking foolery.
Yo.
Oh shit. Sorry guys, all I have to ad-lib that making fun of the black guy is a roll of duct tape and a copy of Windows 7. I know why they call you Coiffine now. You're more like a decaffeinated African.
So to me, I would like to see people getting along, not being racist in any shape or form.
Fuck yeah! Dude, I had no idea you were half white and half black, but now you're providing context to my joke, and you're making it a better joke, because not only is it funny, but it's funny because it's true. Because we all thought you were talking about cojones. I feel just fucking retarded just saying it back. Bury you in a grave. Make your mama turn into a slave. That wasn't what I was going for. You're black. Sorry about that, Coiffine. You're doing a lot of blood-sucking foolery right there. Right day. I meant to say day. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, god damn it. What a fucking terrible video, terrible idea, terrible person, terrible Kickstarter. Here's some fresh insight for you, okay? You don't say insight like that, okay? You say it like this. Insight. Insight, you fucking clown.
The only clip that I could ever find of him ever saying anything somewhat neutral about black people is this.
At the end of the day, it seems like white people are really just trying to make up for all of the torment that we've inflicted on black people. Well, keep at your crusade. I'm going to continue to act like they're normal human beings.
First of all, what the fuck does that mean? That's not really a proper retort to that. And secondly, you don't act like they're normal human beings. Every single time I've ever seen him talk about them, he's constantly making jokes about them. You've never acted like they're normal a day in your life. So I don't understand what that even means. You can't just say you're gonna keep acting like they're normal human beings when we've never seen you ever do it once. So someone please send me a clip. I want to find it. Someone please send it to me. Because right now this is just bullshit. So I completely understand why people call him racist, but the problem is when you do that, when you only put them down, when you only make fun of them, make a mockery of them, or parody how they speak, when you cherry pick those people to criticize, you do come off as someone who gets a kick out of triggering black people and giving no fucks about any of their struggles, cherry picking black people to criticize who are mostly, if not all, black people who speak in a particular way that you can mock or associate with ignorance. And making those people the only black people that you ever show on your channel gives black people a bad reputation amongst your viewers, which will inevitably attract racist fans. Yeah, not all of them are like that, but you're definitely attracting that audience because of how you present yourself. It reeks of the Southern strategy. So yeah, it's definitely punching down and attractive to racists, but that's about it. So to go back to that whole N-word thing, he never says it in a derogatory way. Well, he calls himself a nigger faggot because he got a comment calling himself that once, which was the perfect opportunity for him to use that comment as a shield to start using it all of the time. And since he takes any opportunity he can, purposefully trying to trigger them. Does he have a right to say it? Yeah, but what are his intentions? That's the question.
Oh, looks like I did something a little too edgy. Edward, I don't know where you got the idea that I was cool.
Being an edgelord means that you're trying to be cool. Look up the fucking definition, you dumbass. And don't give me that you don't know me bullshit. Your whole fucking career is based off of speculation.
Okay, so one thing you're gonna see among all these Kickstarter projects is that these fuckers don't break character once. They think I gotta imitate this original Potato Salad Kickstarter project to a T. If I break character and I, just say at one point like, hey, I wanna make $30,000 too, or, any jokes in there. No fucking jokes. It's, no, this potato salad is serious. I love potato salad. That's why I'm making it. Sometimes I just wanna make potato salad. I wanna say that the problem with all these Kickstarter projects is that they are a bad laugh. You can get a good laugh out of a couple minutes of work. They at least spent like a half an hour to an hour thinking of shit to say and posting pictures and stuff, and it just doesn't yield any sort of fucking laugh whatsoever, so I can't say that it was at all worth it, because I truly, from the bottom of my heart, feel that most of these fucking idiots, they made it because they want to make $30,000 from a shitty Kickstarter project. They don't care about making people laugh. This is hilarious, and this would be even more hilarious if I got that 30 grand.
So we can throw that the fuck out the window. Everybody has a right to speculate. And as far as I'm concerned, you take way too many opportunities when responding directly to black people. And it's not because he just so happened to use it. It's not because he uses it all the time. It's not because he uses it in other unrelated videos to black people. It's because he knows that there are some black people who think that saying the N-word is wrong regardless of context. That's why he went after Tana Mongeau, because she was somebody who thought it was wrong. And honestly, no word is wrong to say. It depends on the context that you use it in. That's just objective. So he purposefully seeks out these use people who believe this about things like the N-word or the F-word or whatever, and that way he capitalizes off of that logical fallacy to appear as if he's this self-aware intellectual. PewDiePie fucking fell for it.
Throughout the years, Ian has just been consistently putting out great arguments that people can get by. I mean, he even rationalized the fucking N-word. How do you do that?
People have been doing that for a very fucking long time. He's not the one who came up with it, you fucking idiot. He fools people into thinking that he's self-aware and he's intellectual and he takes the moral high ground and the intellectual high ground when he really just gets a kick out of triggering people. All of his exposure videos trigger the people who he criticizes. This is what he likes to do. So his intentions are what makes it wrong, not the action itself. This would be another example of his entire career being based off of going for low-hanging fruit in order to appear more intelligent and aware. This is the result of dog whistling. When you only make fun of black people, you are dog whistling that black people are a joke. When you only use whore and slut in a derogatory way, you are dog whistling that those behaviors are wrong. So you cultivate an audience that doesn't approve of it.
So, Idubbbz' girlfriend has OnlyFans, and for some reason people are asking what Idubbbz thinks about this. Who fucking cares? She is not his property. She's free to do whatever she wants with her body. Stop mauling over seeing a pair of tits. It's pathetic. First of all, women are property. They were created by the Lord Jesus Christ for our entertainment. Second of all, yes, she has the power to do that. But Idubbbz also has the power to break up with her. A girl who gains her money by having the bald man cry is no way, shape, and form good for a relationship. And add on to the fact that Idubbbz has made fun of people like you before, and we get a hypocritical toxic fest.
The people defending Ian right now are acting like fucking Neanderthals.
Which cultivates an audience of people who view black people as ignorant or less than. And yeah, it's not his entire fan base, obviously. I never said that, no one's ever implied that. But those people are in there, and there's a lot of them because of the dog whistling. And anyone who doesn't understand this is being willfully ignorant and naive to the reality of this situation.
Kickstarter, I'm letting you know that I'm getting ready to put my project up on the Cyber Matrix 100 transaction unit 1.
Now, before you guys say anything like, Idubbbz, you're an asshole, don't make fun of the mentally disabled.
No one brought it up except for you.
Hey, I'm not the one saying that, you are, okay? I'm not, as far as I'm concerned, he's as mentally stable as you and I, alright?
Nah, fuck that. I'm not gonna be talking about the kid today.
Nah, I'm not gonna be talking about the kid today after showing a picture of his fucked up snaggletooth to my millions of followers. A zoomed in picture of his fucked up snaggletooth. He's as mentally stable as you and I, alright? In fact, probably more so. So don't give me that shit, okay? Don't give me that shit, because I haven't said anything. And I would say that, you know, filming from your living room, the living room of a hoarder, to be quite honest, is not the best thing for a video.
My name is Pyrocynical, and I'm here to say, fuck you, Idubbbz, with your fucking ass cockamamie bullshit!
I don't think he likes me.
You think? I wonder what it is. Maybe it's because you made fun of him for being a hoarder, or because you did an anti-insult, as you say, of calling him mentally disabled. And if you remember, he said that you were pushing it too far, but that didn't stop you.
It's not every day that Idubbbz and his Kickstarter crap and his Any Given Extra Minutes is pushing it way too far for the moment, and it's pissing me off for the last draw.
So now no one can criticize me for the Cyber Matrix series because I criticized myself. Yeah, because that makes a lot of fucking sense. Somehow that makes what you did any better. Somehow you making fun of and exploiting children, calling people retarded while also pretending like you're not calling them retarded is all okay. Somehow constantly making a mockery and a joke of black people is perfectly fine because you're calling yourself out, so that makes it okay. I'll just say that I'm a piece of shit and then I can do whatever I want, even though you're the same fucking asshole who told Leafy that he can't absolve himself from his fucking age. So how the fuck can you absolve yourself from just saying what you're doing if you're gonna keep fucking doing it?
Straight off the bat, I want to let all the newcomers to my channel know that I'm perfectly fine with bullying. Make fun of someone because they're fat, autistic, or riddled with acne. I don't care. Make fun of them. I think my only stipulation with the bullying is that you also have to not be a pussy.
The whole point of being a bully is that you are insecure. Bullies pick on other people because of their own inner flaws, and they do that to distract from their own bullshit. So it is a logical fallacy to condone bullying with as long as you aren't insecure, and you're clearly insecure because you never respond to actual criticism. You go for low-hanging fruit and pick on people who can't argue back against you. So you're just contradicting the shit out of yourself. People mistakenly believe that if someone is willing to tell you something horrible and offensive, that they're being honest with you. They think, well, this person must be honest because they're willing to say triggering things, but no. In many situations, these people just like talking down and triggering people. You can tell when this is the case if these people have a history of avoiding certain topics.
And this whole thing comes across as a bit, tad bit defensive. It felt a bit cherry-picked. And I think that's why a lot of people are pointing out he seems like people didn't really buy his argument.
When they skip over important pieces of a video, that shows that they aren't an honest person. They are literally hiding their true opinions from you. Think about it. If someone is constantly making up excuses for various hypocritical actions, does that really sound like the mark of an honest person to you?
I don't think he's deleting comments. And if he was, I think he's in his right to do so.
So it's nice to have the second most subscribed guy on YouTube in your back pocket to go and defend you when everyone's starting to see you for the pathetic piece of shit that you've always been.
I think he's in his right to do so because there's some pretty harsh stuff about his girlfriend here in a list. Stole art multiple times? She stole art. I don't know. I don't like these lists because even if it's true or not, it's such a... He already knows about these things. I don't think it's just like, what? It doesn't feel fair to bring this up in this context.
The last person who I'm going to listen to is somebody who actually advocates for censoring people sharing their opinion with issues that they have with you. He spent his whole fucking video making up excuses, going for low-hanging fruit, and then after telling everyone that, oh, they don't actually have any legitimate criticisms, he shows legitimate criticisms, even though there's even better ones out there, and then says, oh, well, Idubbbz has a right to censor those, though, because, that, you know, why should you bring that up? The fuck is wrong with you? So he's just all over the place. Fuck what he has to say.
What's happening now was inevitable. You criticize enough people, you create such high standards for other people, eventually you're going to fall flat on your face into it. I think most long-term YouTubers have come out to look very hypocritical, because as soon as people start trawling through your content, they'll find stuff that just doesn't match up. And it's context. The nature of his channel was to criticize people, and unfortunately, once he started turning his own criticism against himself, he looks bad.
And yes, this is inevitable if you're a channel that blows up because of your opinions. First, you're going to be constantly walking a tightrope with your new massive audience in hopes of keeping everyone happy and agreeing with you. This, of course, is impossible.
You have to detach from personal feelings because people can't handle other people's opinions, which is another thing that I have a big fucking problem with. People should be able to share their fucking opinions. You can be morally grounded while sharing your fucking opinions, but for some reason, people don't know how to fucking do that. So every single time these people try to, they get canceled.
You taught your audience to think critically and to be careful of who you trust. It is also very likely that your viewers are subscribed to other commentary channels, and if you step on those other commentary channels' toes, who's to say they won't side with them and turn against you?
Everyone reveals what they really believe, even when they try to hide it. And I'm sick of that fake neutrality bullshit too. And that's why everyone is hungry and thirsty for someone to be fucking honest. You hear it everywhere you go. Can someone just be honest? And they're not honest just because they say fucked up things. They just like to say fucked up things.
The anti-insult is great. It's for people who want to make sort of crude remarks in their online videos but don't really want any backlash.
For those of you who've been here for a while on my channel, you know me by now. But for those of you who are new and don't know me, I hate most people because they're hypocrites. As I've said plenty of times in the past, it's one thing to have a hypocritical moment, everyone does. But these people constantly contradict themselves, which is why they cherry pick what parts of someone's character they want to respond to. And I think a lot of people deep down know this because I get comments that bring it up from time to time. I try my best not to do that because I don't want to base my life, who I am, and what I believe in off of a hypocritical foundation. It's fake and it's not productive. The second that you choose to criticize one person and then give a pass to another in the same boat, you have morally bankrupt yourself. And I try hard not to do that. I call this stuff out because I think it's extremely important that we're all aware of this so that we can evolve in a more mentally productive way. Because I don't know if you noticed, but this moral bankruptcy is the very thing that's killing this fucking planet. All the stuff that's happening in the world right now is due to moral bankruptcy. I know that some people think that this is off topic, but it's not. This affects our life. And if you look at everything that's happening in the world, the root cause of it is moral bankruptcy. I talk about this stuff because people don't realize that these toxic behaviors affect everything. And that's why I'm showing how so many of these people in this video are so hypocritical, whether they're defending or criticizing Idubbbz or they're not even related. It's all interconnected in that way. And I'm trying to wake people up to that. As I've said before, the entire point of doing an exposure video on someone is to point out their dark impulses and something that they're doing that's either some form of hypocrisy, a lie, manipulation, abuse of some sort. So if you're going to criticize someone for any of those things, you are by then implying that you would not do that yourself, because you are not lumping yourself into that group. You're not exposing yourself. We don't see any examples of you getting mad at yourself. So when you do these videos, it's completely rational for people to say that you're on a high pedestal, at least a higher one than them, because you are chastising them for doing something that you perceive to be wrong, and that you explain why. And he spent his entire career reviewing videos of people who were scamming you.
I know that some of you guys are saying yourselves, Idubbbz, this is just a joke. None of these projects are real. They're just having a laugh. They just having a laugh. No, they're not having a laugh, okay? They legitimately want to get fucking money, and maybe they'll, chuckle a little bit while they're taking your fucking money.
So that's why people respected him so much over the years and supported him. So for him to then tell them, oh, you don't look up to me anymore.
There's a whole nother group of people who feel personally devastated and betrayed. You lied to us. Like, if you don't want to look up to me anymore, that's fine. I don't want you to look up to me.
He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly why people believed in him. And it's just so fucked up and manipulative. It pisses me off. The only way to take him out is to take out the community with him, because anything that you say about him, everyone else does. So that's why all of these people who keep making all of these response videos can't ever get anything done, because they're all morally bankrupt. The thing that these idiots seem to not understand is that it's one thing if you're an advocate for free speech. It's one thing if you think it's okay to call people names, but it's another thing if you're an advocate for punching down. And that's the problem that everyone has with all of you. There is a line between punching up and punching down, and none of these fucking dumbasses can understand that. And all of these people, when you look through their videos on their channel, have countless examples of punching down, examples of enabling abusers or looking the other way. And that's why you're never going to be able to expose him for who he is, because he's an edgelord and all of you are too. He's just doing what edgelords do. There's something wrong with all of you. It's time you fucking fix it. For the new people who are just coming over to my channel, welcome. Some people may think that I'm a tea channel, some people may think that I'm a drama channel, or some have even told me, an edgy girl who just wants to disagree with the majority. No, I'm none of those things. Apparently what I'm doing is a new concept that some YouTubers have been doing in other pockets of the site. And I actually found a video that perfectly explains what my format and overall style of delivery is about.
Watch. It says Mr. Kane never bought into the far right's most extreme views, like Holocaust denial or the need for a white ethno-state, he said. Still, far-right ideology bled into his daily life. He began referring to himself as a tradcon. He committed to old-fashioned gender norms, and he dated an evangelical Christian woman. In 2018, nearly 4 years after Mr. Kane had begun watching right-wing YouTube videos, a new kind of video began appearing in his recommendations. Well, these videos were made by left-wing creators, but they mimicked the aesthetics of right-wing YouTube down to the combative titles. She said, I noticed that right-wing people were taking these old-fashioned knee-jerk reactionary politics and packaging them as edgy punk rock, Mrs. Wynn told me. So this is one of the left-wing videos he was watching, is someone named Mrs. Wynn. One of the goals was to take the excitement out of it. When Mr. Kane first saw these videos, he dismissed them as left-wing propaganda. But he watched more, and he started to wonder if people like Ms. Wynn had a point. Her videos persuasively used research and citations to rebut the right-wing talking points he had absorbed. I just kept watching more and more of that content, sympathizing and empathizing with her, and also seeing that, wow, she really knows what she's talking about, Mr. Kane said. So he was on YouTube and he got to see several different points of view, and now he gets to make up his own mind. Then in the article, they go on to say that this Miss Wynn is part of this new progressive conglomeration of YouTube channels called the BreadTube. I'd never heard of the BreadTube. And then they talk about the core of BreadTube strategy is a kind of algorithmic hijacking. So now these lefties are doing algorithmic hijacking by talking about many of the same topics that the far-right creators do. And in some cases, by responding directly to their videos. Left-wing YouTubers are able to get their videos recommended to the same audience. The answer to bad speech isn't censorship, but the answer is more speech. Good speech. Natalie and Destiny made a bridge over to my side. Two of their names are Natalie and Destiny. And this guy who was brainwashed says Natalie and Destiny made a bridge over to my side. And it was interesting and compelling enough that I walked across it. Now listen to this. After all of that, this is how they end the article. YouTube is the place to put out a message, he said. But I've learned now that you can't go to YouTube and think that you're getting some kind of education because you're not. Well, you just said you got one from that lefty lady. What are you talking about? You just said you got it. You just said you got educated from them. They used facts and citations and evidence and research. You said that. Of course you just got educated.
And that's me. I watched a lot of these edgy videos on YouTube. I used to watch these kind of YouTubers, big and small, and noticed that one, the people who made these exposure videos and these inflammatory videos were hypocrites in everything that they criticized, and two, I noticed that all of these people got worse and worse over time, especially with those inflated egos, and I couldn't find anyone who didn't follow that pattern. So I decided to do responses myself, and I struggled for a while with how I should do it or if I should even speak my mind, but eventually I just got fed up from all the BS on this website and said, fuck it, I need to speak. But that's the content that I produce, because those are the kind of people that I'm trying to wake up. And it's a fine line to walk. I'm honestly terrified. Being this inflammatory to do what I'm trying to do makes me worried that if and when I ever fuck up and do attack someone who doesn't deserve it or hurt someone or do something bad in general, that I won't acknowledge it or try to fix it when someone points it out to me. That one day I'll be like these other people. I seriously hope that that never happens to me. And for everyone who's subscribed to me right now and is still here after this video, and if at any point you notice that that does happen to me, please send me this video to remind me of who I once was. I'm scared because everyone seems to head in a worse and worse direction because for most people, as they get older, they get more stuck in their ways and don't want to change. Plus, they've been enabling their dark impulses, so since they don't want to change from that mindset, they continue to get worse. They continue to do more of the fucked up things that they want to do. And when you see an entire community of edgelords, all of these people on this website who make these kind of videos, doing the same thing, heading in the same direction, it honestly makes you wonder, is that everyone's fate? Is that my fate? Is this a lost cause? It honestly makes you wonder. I want to try my best to improve and change for the better. I believe in morals, moral consistency, and human growth. Why shouldn't we? What's so wrong about that? None of these YouTubers has an answer. No one does, even though most people try their hardest to run from it at every turn or bring you down with them. To tell you that we're all fucked up, we're all flawed, everybody's horrible, so why be any better? And if you're still wondering why I make this content, it's because after not only suffering from those kinds of people my entire childhood, but also watching so many edgelord hypocrites and optimistic nihilists on this platform, as well as their enablers, I got pissed. Constantly giving people that they like a free pass and chastising the ones that they don't. I'm sick of all of the tribalism, optimistic brainwashing, forcing optimism to avoid challenging topics. I'm sick of all of the abuse and bullying, going for low-hanging fruit. I'm sick of all of the virtue signaling, as well as the misuse of the term virtue signaling. I'm sick of it all. And with all of this sarcastic bullshit and this edgy bullshit, it almost feels like none of these people are real. And it's because they're acting, playing a character, a false persona to curry favor and be so hashtag relatable. I understand you. I agree with you. As if it's so hard to admit that you have flaws and try to work on them. After dealing with these fucking assholes my entire fucking life, I'm pissed off. And everybody wants to say, oh, you should have a more positive tone. You should speak in a more positive way. I'm not gonna fucking do that. So now I'm just a bitter woman and fed up with all the problems that society faces. That's not saying that I'm better than everybody. That's not saying that I'm smarter than everybody. I'm saying that people should try to be better than they are currently. Why the fuck wouldn't you want to work in a more productive direction? Everyone should be doing that, and most people don't. It's not everyone, but most don't. And if you don't get me at this point, then you're a lost cause. And I know that I'm a small channel, but Idubbbz spent his entire Kickstarter crap career reacting and responding to small voices on the internet. So he has absolutely no excuse to not respond to me. Tell me what your actual response is to all the things in this video. Don't just cherry pick through this video and go for low-hanging fruit. Drop the edgelord act and be a fucking human being for once and actually respond to the shit that matters. So that's all I got to say. Send Idubbbz this video because I want him to answer for this shit. I want to hear what he has to say. So I'm done.